Hi guys, it's Nathan here from Headbangers. Today we've got Kevin from High Command. Now, if you haven't heard of High Command, they're an unbelievable thrash and hardcore crossover band. We saw them at Damnation. They're probably one of the best bands that we've seen at Damnation. We're really blown away by them. In the episode, we talk a lot about hardcore, a lot about thrash, and a lot about the world that they've actually built in some of their releases that's in the lyrical theme. So, yeah, this one was a really fun one. If you like the podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe. We are also on Twitter, Facebook, everything like that. Everywhere it's Headbangers Podcast, except for Twitter, where it's Headbangers Pod 1. If you're listening to streaming services as well, don't forget to leave us a rating because it helps us with the algorithm. Without any further ado, here's the episode.
Headbangers.
Welcome back to the Headbangers Podcast, where your hosts Nathan and Brad. Here today we're joined by Kevin from High Command. How are you doing, man? To start off with.
I'm good, man. How are you?
Yeah, doing good, man. So let's start off the show by asking just a little icebreaker question. What's your funniest gig or tour story that you can recall?
Funniest gig on tour story. One time we played I think it was Binghamton, New York, a few years ago, and this kid was moshing so hard, just going insane. He had these big ass like DC shoes on. He like, for some reason, he took his shoes off, just started beating himself in the head with it. I don't know why, but we always crack up over that one. Some sword incidents, I think. Yeah, just I don't know, man. Funniest gig. Dude, I don't know, man. We've been on tour for a long time now. Something crazy happens at least once a tour, but then we always get too drunk. I don't really remember. But that incident of the kid beating himself with his own shoe was very funny.
Yeah, I feel like thrash kids are crazy, man. Like, out of all the metal subgenres, like, there's always that one thrash kid that's just going crazy in the crowd, right?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. Metal
the
freaks, man.
The dangerous combo though is the hardcore kids that also like thrash. Like,
yeah,
and then as soon
Double the insanity.
as soon as there's a crossover band, that's it. Like, they're absolutely just killing it.
Yeah, dude.
One thing I really do like about you guys is how well you flow like hardcore and thrash together. I think I think when you listen to thrash and hardcore put together, it amplifies both the genres so well and it bounces off of each other so well. So, like, what made you wanted to lean into this style, as well as like what do you think is the reason why the two styles actually work well together?
Well, the way this band came about is we're all from Massachusetts and we grew up playing like different hardcore bands, so that's like our roots really. But the stuff that got us into like heavy music is like, like the old thrash bands like Slayer, like Metallica, stuff like that. So at the time, I think a lot of our bands broke up or weren't very active, and then we're all friends, so we're just like, fuck it, let's start a metal band, like go back to like the shit that got us into this stuff, So a lot of our hardcore roots carried over with it, like influences like bands like the Cro-Mags who kind of mixed them already, like those crossover bands, So both have similar energies, and I think the hardcore kids and the punks that are making metal like tend to like trim the fat from the thrash, or like whatever style, death metal, whatever, and like just like get to the point, make some badass like heavy music. So I think the styles work really well together. I mean, crossover bands have been doing it since the 80s, so there's a reason why it works so well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like I said, what Nathan was saying, like we were absolutely blown away by you guys at Damnation. Like, obviously I've heard like only great things about High Command, and like this was like my first opportunity to see you guys and like really delve into it. But yeah, there's just so many like influences going into there. Like, there's so many depths to the band itself. Like, you mentioned like, you're obviously influenced heavily by like old school thrash. Like I could hear some like Ride the Lightning influence in some of those riffs that were going on. Like this. But then also like, the hardcore elements bring it down. There's some nice breakdowns in there. So yeah, like how was that show for you? Like, playing Damnation and
that was awesome, man.
Incredible,
man. Yeah. That was our first show in the UK, so it was a big deal for us, we were slated to play that festival a couple years prior, but due to COVID, that shit hit the fan. But very happy to make it over there, and didn't really know what to expect with it being our first show in the UK, but I had a great time, and the reaction was awesome. People were moshing, like crowd surfing and all that, so I couldn't have asked for more. Definitely brought the energy. I was pumped on it, man.
I was watching.
Thanks for rocking up, guys. Hell yeah.
Our pleasure, honestly.
There was one bit in your set where I can't remember what, there was like just a riff that came in, and like I turned around to Dylan and was like, I'm fighting so hard not to throw a spin kick. I was there every molecule in my body was just going, do it. But I was like, this isn't the crowd for it. This is not the crowd.
Yeah, I really wanted the stage dive, but I didn't want to ruin someone's day,
That's the thing. I just sat there going, I was like, I really hope like these guys play like a hardcore venue in the UK soon, like, because I was just thinking like that the crowd would go fucking nuts for it.
Yeah,
like,
dude. Yeah.
But yeah,
I think we'll be back around in April next year. Wait, where are you guys from?
We're from,
did I hear you're from?
Yeah, we're from
Scotland?
Leeds. No, Leeds.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of people get confused between like the Northern and the Scottish, because like it's kind of like the same tinge. There's just like a few different like ways.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're from Leeds, so it's up in the north.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're hitting Leeds when we come back, but if we're anywhere close, yeah, come hang out.
Oh, definitely, man.
Absolutely, man.
If you're coming back in April, man, I highly recommend like seeing if you can do a show at Boom, because like Boom's fucking an incredible venue from here. It's one of the
Boom,
best
you
ones.
said?
Yeah, Boom Leeds. It's easily the best venue in Leeds. Loads of bands have played there.
Yeah, we'll talk to Boom and see if we can get you down for sure.
Cool, thanks guys. Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
I want to talk about because we mentioned like the influences that go into you guys. I mean, personally, I feel like with the genre of thrash, like for so many years, at least in my opinion, I feel like it has died a tiny bit. Like in terms of bands that I like enjoy listening to, or like new bands coming out. But I feel like you guys have really breathed like a new life, and you got me excited about the genre again. Like, do you think like because you've got so many layers to High Command with like Blackened, Death, you've got the thrash, you've got the hardcore. Do you think that's what thrash needs to stay alive, is to like kind of like experiment a bit more and like breathe life into it? Or do you think like what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that helps a lot, man. Like thrash is sick and all, but like it can get kind of stale if you're not like trying to weave more influences in there. Like I don't know. I could listen to the first 4 Metallica records for the rest of my life, like multiple times a week, and not get bored of it. But not a lot of bands can pull that off. Like that's just like really good songwriting. So I don't know, man. I think it's really interesting when bands like try to pull from like multiple different influences and make something interesting and unique. So we're happy to be out there like pushing the boundaries of thrash, and hopefully we continue making cool music, and it's like a natural evolution, So always gonna keep it heavy, always gonna keep it badass, but definitely want to experiment a little bit too,
Oh yeah, I think it's important to do that, because like there's I think thrash as a genre it's one of those things where it's like it's great on its own, but like if you add more to it, it's similar to like black metal. Like the actual like substance of it is like such a like small box to put yourself in, but if you put more shit in the box, it just makes it so much better. Like it's an awful analogy, but like it's
no, I get it.
It pumps it up to a different level, and that's what I think is amazing about thrash as a genre. It's when you add more to it, it amplifies both at the same time. It makes it both.
Yeah, it's super cool, man. And the High Command like world kind of relies on like some sword and sorcery style storytelling. So the more like ambience and like atmosphere we can add to our albums, the better, just to make that experience like hit a little harder,
Oh yeah, I think that's one thing that I thought was very unique for you guys. Like when I listened to him, I was like, when I listened to you, I was like, oh, there's so much more than just thrash. It's like there is ambience, there is fast riff, but there's also breakdowns. It's a bit of everything for everybody in there, which is what I really appreciated. One thing I wanted
totally.
to ask you as well is like, whilst we were sort of on the subjects of like, you know, gigging and stuff like that, like I know from speaking to a lot of bands, they have like, you know, like inspirations on who, you know, like stage presence as well, not just music. So I wanted to sort of ask you like, who was that person for you? Like, who was the person that you saw live and you're like, yeah, I want to do something like that when I finally get on stage and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well, the dude that got me like into music is a local band from like, well, interested in playing like heavy music, like thinking that I could maybe do that, is a dude named Dom Mallory from this hardcore band from back home called Last Lights. Unfortunately, he passed away like over 10 years ago, but he was like the craziest fucking front man ever, dude. Like I saw him, I was just like, holy shit, like that's intense. And like, that got me like interested in maybe trying to do something like that. But to be honest, like I grew up playing drums in bands. I never thought I would be a singer, and it just kind of happened this way. But I don't know. There's a lot of good frontmen out there. You know, Paul Bailoff, fucking sick.
Oh yeah, he was the craziest dude, man.
Yeah, yeah. King Diamond. You know, I love his theatrics. Super cool. Uh, yeah, man. The list goes on. Like, just badass people, dude. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I just try to get up there and be a fucking maniac. That's all. I'm not sure who my influences are really, but yeah, just get up there, go nuts, put on a good show.
I mean, he came out with a sword, dude. So you know, I'd say you got the front man energy right. Like I thought it was sick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, people like the sword. Hypes people up.
Awesome, man. Yes, obviously you mentioned before about like, you know, the world building that you guys do. I know like the last album was like, you know, you put it into chapters, you know, based on the world that you've created.
Yeah.
What originally like inspired that? Like, you know, what, you know, from the first time you decided to create this world for the bands, like what were the remnants of that? How did that come about?
Well, yeah, we recorded the demo, and then like their instruments, and then I eventually had to lay down vocals, and didn't really know what to write about. Like, try to just write like more traditional stuff, and to me, it was feeling like a little corny, and I didn't really like it. So I took some acid one night and just like kind of just had a night, and you know, invented some characters and started like building out this world that we based around this like art. The main city is like Secartha. So once I had that, made some characters, made like a loose little story, and then you know, we all like sword and sorcery movies and books like that, comic books, shit like that. So I don't know. It's for me, it was just a lot more fun to kind of do some fantasy stuff and like just be able to like write about anything I want and not be like confined into, you know, a lot of thrash bands will go the political route and stuff like that, and I wanted to stray away from that. So yeah,
it's a lot
that's
more
how
cool,
it came
man.
about. Yeah, so like every album since, even the EPs we did, like the 7 inches and stuff, had just been expanding on that lore since. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, man, and it's getting pretty deep now.
Yeah, I think as well, like, you know, when you create like a fantasy world, like, you know, whether it's music or movies or whatever, like there's just unlimited things you can do with it because it's your world, isn't it? Like, you know, politics,
Yeah,
you know, like which a lot of thrash bands, like you said, you know, do write about. Like, it's kind of just dependent on what's going on, or like, you know, you can drag from things in the past. Eventually, you might run out of ideas. But you know, stuff like, you know, you've got like Immortal that's always done their own world, and it's like, you know, it's still doing well now, and even Abbott by himself does, you know, music about his own world that he's created. So I think it's just
yeah,
super interesting, and like, you know, I think it makes the listener as well much more engaged with the music.
yeah, man. Mortal Sick, yeah, they did a really good job building out that stuff. So definitely an influence for sure. And yeah, I'm actually like with a couple friends of mine from back home who are good writers. We're developing the latest album into a comic book series.
Oh
So like
wow.
each song is gonna be its own issue. So it's like an 8-issue story arc. We already have I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Wormwalk from Philadelphia. He's a painter, but he's illustrating all the books, and yeah, it's looking great so far. We have a lot done. It's coming together. We're just looking for a publisher right now to help put it out.
Oh yeah, like
But
that was mad because I was about to ask you, is like, would you ever like turn that into like a book or like a comic book or anything like that?
yeah,
Obviously, yeah, you are.
yeah, man. We actually have like we made like a little sample zine to bring on this Europe tour. It's like got like the first 10 pages and like some info about it. I'll get your info after. I'll send you guys one.
Yeah, I
Or
love it,
couple.
man.
Definitely.
I can't
Yeah.
wait.
Because
Yeah,
fuck
it's interesting as well. Like, was the process from like transforming the music into like, graphical form and like, working with like an artist, was that like an easy process to try and like, take it from the music into the graphical form?
But to be honest, it was a lot of work. Like it's been like we started working on it like maybe a month after the album came out, so over like a year and a half now probably. And the way we did it is we went through all the lyrics because it's kind of like a concept album. They're like, all right, here's what happens in this song. How do we expand this, and like how do we build this world out so it feels like really huge and like crazy? So we kind of like lost our minds for a while, like playing make 'em ups basically, like just like trying to see like what we can expand and like while sticking to the outline of the lyrics. And once we had all that fleshed out, like an outline, then we went into writing the dialogue, and that was a whole other process. Like we never really did that before, so that was a little tough. And then after that, once we had like a solid script down, we started approaching artists, and Wormlock was like my main choice, and thankfully he is like a huge comic head, so he was pumped to give it a shot. So now we're coming along. It's coming along. It's cool.
You feel like you're just constantly in that like mindset, then like you're just like when you're not on like the stage, you're just like constantly thinking about this world and how you're going to keep expanding on it. It's just like a constant thing in your head.
Yeah, man. We meet like me and my friends are writing it. We meet like twice a week, and it's just like it's become a thing now. Like I don't know, we look forward to getting together and just like seeing what we can come up with and how we can make the story better. So we're really excited about it, man. Like I hope it gets published and people can get their hands on it, because I think fans of the band would really enjoy it.
Like, have you always sort of been interested in that sort of subject, or is it just something that's sort of developed as you've like started the band and wanted to do it, and you just thought,
yeah, I mean,
the lyrics that I like and just taking it from those, or have you always been like, I love this shit, like, and like, because it reminds me very Tolkien-y, like, I mean, like very fantasy Tolkien-y sort of feeling to it.
Yeah, to be honest, I never was a huge comic book head, but my friend actually, like, he helped us a lot in the studio. He played like cello on some of the interludes and some synthesizer stuff, and he's just so helpful dude. So he saw like how hard I was working on the lyrics, and he's like a really good writer himself. So he was like, yo, I think you're like onto something. We should maybe try to like make this bigger somehow. And he's a big comic book head, so he approached me with that idea. So super cool. I never really thought I would be able to like do something like that, but with his help, it's like really coming along. I tried to write like a short story once, and it was kind of shit. So, but this is working out pretty good.
Takes time though. I think like writing stories is really hard. Like I used to write loads when I was like a kid, and all these random stories. It's probably, I've hate to look back on them now. They're just in a vault somewhere. I'm never gonna have a look at again. But like, I think just structuring it, like having like an act structure when things happen, like when the conflict should happen, like it's super like meticulous in the way that it should be presented. But I think the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. Like I'm writing something at the moment. I haven't touched it in a while, but like, yeah, when I first started writing it and I've compared it to like the first draft, it's definitely a lot better.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, that's like what we're doing now. Like, just like we like usually write like an issue, or at least get like the skeleton down, and then we'll move on to the next one, and then we'll come back to the first one and be like, oh, this part fucking sucks. Like, let's change that. Like that dialogue, like no human would or anyone would like talk like that. Like it's too many words. So yeah, like, you get it, dude. Like sometimes you just have to. We call it like killing your darlings. You could be like really excited about like a line or something, and then you come back to it like a month or two later, and then you're just like, yeah, I think we're just trying too hard with that one. Like maybe we just need to like go take it down a notch. I don't know, but yeah, it's been a really cool experience, man. I've never worked on a project like this, so and I never ever thought I would be a writer. I was like terrible in like high school and stuff with that stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. I don't know.
Do you remember like
Life's
the
weird.
first do you remember like the first like fantasy world that you fell in love with? Like, you know, that was it since then. Like, you know, that was like the thing for you, like a book or a movie, like just the real first thing that you laid your eyes on, you're like, fuck me, this is so cool.
Yeah, I mean, probably like the first introduction to that shit would be like Lord of the Rings, and you know that's always awesome. And then later, like the Conan stuff, and you guys ever watch that movie Fire and Ice?
I think
You know
so.
what? I think I've heard of it. Because the name sparks a memory, but I can't remember if I can remember it. I
Yeah,
remember Fire and Ice being something that I have watched.
dude. Yeah, do yourself a favor and check that movie out sometime. It's like animated, like rotoscope style, but it's like so sick, dude. I don't know if you smoke weed, but smoke might watch that sometime, dude.
Oh yeah,
it's a trip.
Well, mate, honestly, Lord of the Rings. Like I remember when I first watched that, it spawned an obsession for me. I've been reading the books. Fuck me, it's hard to get through them, but like it's a great book. But I remember watching that movie. Me and my friend James just have like a group chat. She's like me and like two other friends. We were just sending Lord of the Rings memes like all day. So whenever we like come across one, it's like there you go. It's just a constant back and forth all day, just Lord of the Rings shit.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, those memes are awesome.
It's probably stood the test of time though as well. Like, you know, like Lord of the Rings is like so universal. Like even like since it came out, like there's still not much that can really top it. Like from like the story down to the effects, like, you know, it's got that natural look to it. Like even the Hobbits couldn't capture that. It was like too much CGI. Still fun, but like, you know, it's just crazy. Like I still, it's still my favorite trilogy of all time because it's just like nothing's beaten it since.
Yeah, totally. Like it must be hard for like big studios to make like a movie like that because like I feel like you would need like a huge budget to like do it right. I mean, there's other like sick movies like there's like Sorceress, there's Beastmaster and stuff, but like you can tell they definitely didn't have the budget that the Lord of the Rings have. Like I don't know. Hopefully, there's more of that though. I would like to see a new wave of like sword and sorcery films and like TV shows and stuff. I mean, I know there's like Game of Thrones and shit like that, but you know what I mean? Something new.
Oh yeah, no, I'd love like a return of like those older ones where it's just like, yeah, let's not be too serious. Let's just go buck wild with it. It's a world of
just
dragons and fucking knights and shit. Just go nuts,
fucking over the top, dude. Yeah, like go crazy.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I used to love watching shit like that. I remember it's like even I know it's not fantasy-ish, but I remember Never Ending Story. I remember watching that shit as a kid and being like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah, dude.
Like,
yeah, man.
Always loving it. And like I wish there was like another way of movies like that where it's like you sit there and you're like, I don't know what's going on, but this is fucking sick.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, I feel like The Witcher almost captured it. Like, you know, for the first 3 seasons, obviously you've got the games as well, but like the series was quite almost hitting the points, but then obviously Henry Cavill's leaving and it's probably going to turn shit, but almost there.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't watch it yet, but it's on my list for sure.
Yeah,
The Witcher is based off a video game, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
And then it's like based off like a book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like, because I had no idea the book existed until like someone pointed it out to me, being like, oh yeah, I love the games, and someone like, oh, I've read the books. It's like there's a fucking book. Like, it's like Google it to make sure they won't lie. Like there's someone's fucking with me, and I found it. I was like, it's actually a fucking book.
Oh wow, yeah, I had no idea.
I honestly, I think I found out like 2 years ago that it was a book. Like
cool.
Only 2 years ago. I played the games like all the way through, and then just someone just randomly went, "Oh yeah, there's a book too." I was like,
Yeah, right.
I was genuinely
That's cool.
just so thrown off. I was like, I have not heard about that. One thing I wanted to ask you as well is like, you guys did, supported Hatebreed, and like that's fucking insane because like anyone from like the hardcore scene is like getting the call being like, "Oh yeah, you're supporting Hatebreed," like must be like shit, like how we fucking made it. So like, what was that feeling for you, and what was the show like?
Dude, it was fucking awesome. I don't even know how it happened, really, but yeah, we're from New England, so Hatebreed and Jamie Jossa are like the fucking goats, legends, man. So yeah, when we got the offer for that, I was just like, holy shit, like this is gonna be like the most brutal fucking show ever. And it was in their hometown too, in New Haven, which they don't play often. So, dude, their set was wild. So many older dudes like coming out of the woodwork and just like fucking moshing their asses off for the first time in like years, probably. You know what I mean? Coming out of Moss retirement for Hatebreed, so sick, dude.
Man,
Yeah,
I love Hatebreed, and when I saw that, I was like, oh man, because I just had a picture like if I was in that position, and I'd got that call, I'd been like losing my shit like 20 minutes after, being like, fuck yeah, like, you know what I mean? Like
dude,
I was saying,
yeah.
like they're playing Bloodstock in the UK next year, and I was saying if they play Facing What Consumes You, I'm gonna fucking combust. I'll just fucking explode.
Dude, yeah, they actually Josta shouted out Perseverance for us. He was like, "This one goes out to High Command." I almost fucking died.
Best song as well.
It was so sick.
Speaking of Bloodstock, you guys should definitely get on that bill. It'd be sick to see you guys again.
I would love to play Bloodstock, man. I've never been, but I've had friends that have played it, and they have nothing but good things to say about it.
Oh, it's
for sure.
Great, man. It's absolutely great.
Yeah.
Do you remember I wanted to ask, like, do you remember like the first CD that you ever bought that you got blown away by?
When I was a kid, I didn't buy it, but I used to have like this girl used to watch me, like babysit me when I was like real little, and when my parents were at work, and then she brought, or I forgot, maybe it was my fucking birthday or something, but she gave me Injustice for All on CD, and that was like the mind-blowing moment for me. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Was that like your first introduction to metal then? Like just getting that CD?
Other than like the radio, like hearing like, like Enter Sandman or like Walk by Pantera or like, shit like that. That was like the first like real album I heard front to back, metal album. Yeah. And Black Sabbath too, like Paranoid and Master Reality were like the first two Sabbath albums I heard. But yeah, those were the gateways for sure.
Yeah, I thought like originally like he just like randomly got Injustice for All like out of nowhere. It's like, that must be a fucking wild ride as a kid just getting that on CD for the first time.
Yeah. Hearing Blackened as like a fucking little kid and just like fucking losing my shit in my bedroom that was a big moment.
I feel like a lot of people that get into like metal now like really sleep on like old Metallica shit. Like, because I feel like a lot of them just kind of write them off, being like, "All right, yeah, they're an older band," but I think the new audience strictly like listen to like a lot newer stuff. But like, pretty much every Metallica album, there's fucking bangers and bangers and bangers. Like,
yeah, dude.
Even the most recent one, I was saying like I like a couple songs off that. I was like, it's different, And a few of my friends were slating. I was like, nah, there's some riffs. I was like, there's some riffs in there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I really like that new song, like Lux Eterna or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna listen to the new albums like all the time, like I do the old ones. But they still got riffs. They got some shit in the tank, and I don't know, they'll always be a favorite of mine.
Right, what do you think to the SMM album? Because I always ask anyone that likes like Metallica about it. Because like
dude, we actually listened to that on this tour.
Oh, really?
or maybe it was the last tour we did. But yeah, it was like a long drive, and we're like, fuck it, we'll put on SMM, and it's actually pretty sick. It's like better than I remembered.
Oh man, because I remember when it first came out, like those people didn't like it that much, but I was like, Metallica with a full fucking orchestra, bro.
Yeah, dude, imagine seeing that.
Oh man, blows your fucking mind. Let's just listen to it. I'm like, mate, this is amazing.
Yeah. And we like to add like instruments like that too. I mean, we're not going that crazy, but we've got like cellos and violins and stuff. So it's cool to hear those songs like that, especially like their epic ones. Like I kind of forget which ones they played, but I'm pretty sure they did like Call of Cthulhu. They did Orion, like the longer ones, like the instrumental ones, like those ones. They went hard on those ones with the orchestra, dude. Super cool.
Oh yeah, no, honestly, that's one of my favorite ones to listen to. Like whenever I go on, I might listen to SM today.
Yeah,
it's just fucking good. Like I refuse to like listen to anyone that goes, "Ah, no, I don't like it. It's because I think it's like because they kind of deviated from like, oh, this is strictly just metal, and like, oh no, we want to try doing these songs but with something different. I think a lot of lyrics were like, nah, that's not cool.
Yeah,
like, it's fucking sick. What
also just having the pull to get it was like the San Francisco Orchestra. I'm pretty sure. Like, imagine being that big that you could be just like hit them up and be like, all right, hey, you want to like do a whole album together? Like, what the fuck? That's insane.
Yeah, that's how you know you made it.
Then they go, yeah. It's like, how the fuck does that work? But it's fucking great. Like, it's one of my favorites. Like, I think I listen to it at least once a week. Where I'm like, if I'm in the mood, I'm like, I'm gonna put that on. Like, but yeah, I always ask anyone that's like remotely like interested in Metallica, I'm like, what do you think to S&M? Because I've had mixtures of like, oh, I'm not a massive fan to, dude, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I always like talking about it. What's some of your like hobbies and interests like outside of the band then? Like, what are some of the stuff you sort of get up to outside of playing and writing music?
Yeah, I've been skateboarding since I was a kid, so that's big for me. Recently started getting into mountain biking, which has been fun. Hiking, I like the woods a lot. Shit like that. I don't know. Yeah, boring shit.
That's pretty cool, to be fair.
Yeah.
I still wish that like I didn't give up skateboarding when I was like 14. Like, it's one of my biggest.
You can get back on the board, man. Don't worry.
I tried to do it during COVID, and like the amount of like how different it is being like from what I remember being on like 14-year-olds. My whole center of balance is off. Like everything. I was like, so I've been trying to teach myself again, and it's just been like one of those things where, like, this is jarring. To try to teach yourself as an adult, because I was like, I remember being like, when I stopped, I just learned how to do a kickflip, and then I rolled my ankle, and like 14-year-old Nathan, like,
this is it.
Traumatized into do it again. So yeah, it was just one of those things on that. Now I proper regret just not doing it again.
Dude, well, I'm 32 now, and I'm definitely not like jumping down anything crazy or not doing the shit I was before, but it's just fun and like almost like therapeutic for me to like push around and like just get moving on it, So
I
don't
think
need
like
to be jumping down.
Like, like I feel like pain is part of the process, isn't it? Like, I mean, I haven't skateboarded since I was a kid, but like, from the people that I know that do, like, it's gonna happen, isn't it? So, like, it's kind of got to push past that point and just realize it's probably gonna happen.
Yeah. Definitely hurts more now. Like, I fucked up my toe like maybe like 8 months ago, and it's still fucking like bothering me. And like, if I did that 10 years ago, I would have been totally fine the next day. So yeah. Gotta choose your battles when you get to this age of the board,
Oh yeah, like that's what I learned when I was like trying to learn, because like the amount of times I absolutely fucked something up just like trying to like just get back on, and then every so often I just fall. Like I kind of like fucked up my thumb, and even now like it still hurts a little bit. So like when I try to bend it in a certain way, I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah. Shit just like stops working.
No, it's hard. It's hard to get used to, because I remember being like, even like I'm only 25 now, but like shit really hurts now. Like I remember doing shit, like, hurting myself in a way where it's like, oh, when I was like 12, this was nothing, and then like now it's like, nah, this fucking sucks.
Yeah, dude. Getting old's rough, man.
Oh man,
Yeah.
It's like I
We like
sprained my
to.
ankle like a few weeks ago, and fuck
Yeah.
me, it still hurts now. And I'm like, I'd sprained my ankle like a million times as a kid, and we're walking on it to school like the next day.
Yeah, dude. High Command likes to party a lot too, and I tell you what, these hangovers aren't getting any easier, man.
Oh man,
It's been a long tour.
I remember my first one. Like that's how much it like really hit. Because like it's almost like a closing a door of like your youth in it when you get your first hangover.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna just have to suffer now. Like
Who goes the hardest out of you guys then in high command?
Oh, sorry. What's that?
Who goes the hardest then on high command on tour?
Our guitar player Ryan once put it this way, and I think it's a great way of explaining it. You know how like usually in each band there's like one wild card maniac,
Yep.
who's just like kind of goes off the rails. He's like, yeah, I found that one maniac from like 5 different hardcore bands in Massachusetts and assembled them all into one. So we all there's like no one that goes easy, man. Like usually the last one standing, not trying to toot my own horn, but it's usually me and the other guitar player Razzle or the bass player Berg. The other 2, they party, but eventually they have to go to sleep,
All right. Who has to
Yeah.
be the responsible one then? Is it just like you all just pass out and there's no responsible one, or is it like there's a one person like, all right, come on now, guys,
Yeah. I mean, as long as we're like we got a place to stay and then like we got all our shit there, we can Uber, whatever, like all bets are off,
Brad's definitely the wild card out of us two.
Yeah, you wouldn't
Yeah.
think it, but yeah.
Yeah, we actually got asked it
Hell yeah.
and stopped by some friends, and like Brad were like, "Oh, me," and everyone were like, "Really?" And like I was like, "Yeah." Like Brad is like a secret like little shit when he's drunk. Like it gets to like a level where I'll be sat across from him and I'm like, he's about it. His eyes go really fucking glazed, right? And there's like, it's almost like a different Brad takes over his body. Like I was just kind of like, you sit there and you know it's about to happen, and like you blink and then he's fucked. Like,
Yeah.
you're like, what was
It's like
happening?
seamless, man.
Yeah. I know what you mean. I've been there.
Honestly, he at Bloodstock he was a fucking menace. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
even
it really
I'm not
was.
even joking. The kid was a menace.
What were you doing?
Oh, first
I was
night,
just drunk
for
the whole
some
weekend,
reason,
man.
he got so drunk that he was like barking at fucking people, and I was like, "Why are you barking?" And I was like, "Why are you barking?" And he went, "It's like Brad when he gets drunk, every intrusive thought becomes an action." So
So
it's like
Yeah,
I'm
that
just
is
gonna do
true.
random
Yeah.
shit. It's like we went to go meet Chad from Frozen Soul at one point.
Yeah, I was good about this. I was still looking forward to meeting Chad, and then
It's like he was in such a mission that he was like, "All right, meet at Lemmy's bar," and he's just like saw Lemmy's bar, and he just kept walking. And then Chad walked up to us like getting food and like had a quick chat with him. And I was like, Brad, he was already at fucking Lemmy's bar. Like a guy had just fucking plowed through crowds.
Yeah, I was on a
just, like,
mission, man.
trying to get there. And like I was talking to Chad and I was getting texts from him like, "Where the fuck are you?"
dude, that's hilarious. Sometimes you just have to like go feral and be a maniac.
Yeah, you have to get
I
out
get-
your system, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like when I get drunk, no one ever realizes. Like there's like I'll get to a point where I'll be like fine the entire night.
It's like
Yeah.
it's on stealth mode or something.
Yeah, no, and then like there'll just be a moment where I'm like, I'll just start being like, I'm gonna throw up in a minute. And then that's the only indication. Like, but before then, I'm fine. I can hold conversations. Just
Yeah,
with,
dude.
like I could probably like file fucking tax returns or whatever the fuck. Like, while I was drunk. Like something like that, and then just randomly, I'm like, all right, I'm done.
Yeah. I could be like that too. A lot of us can. Yeah. Just like the sleeper drunk where you're like have no idea that we're like close to fucking blackout.
That's so true, man. So we also get to the end point of the interview now. One way that we always like to leave it is if you were in a zombie apocalypse, or I guess in better case now, we can say if you were in your world that you've built, and you were only with your bandmates, which member would you be least reliant on, and which member would you be most reliant on, and why?
I think all my bandmates would hold themselves pretty well, dude. But Berg might be too drunk on gin, but that might actually help him in the battle. I don't know, like gin drunk, but first to die probably be me, dude. I don't know. I'll probably just fucking fuck myself up on something, but I'd say the last one standing out of high command would probably in the fucking battle would probably be Berg. He's a Swede. He's big and strong. Hitz is like, you know, he's a wild card. You wouldn't expect Pitts to survive, but he's like a fucking absolute maniac. I don't know.
Yeah, he's like either leading you guys into battle, or he's like, you know, going to form a faction against you guys. You know, you just don't know what he's going to do.
once he starts pulling out the crazy eyes like that, like you know you're fucked, dude. But yeah, I don't know, man. I would like to think that we would be able to fucking get out of there unscathed, but who knows, dude? I don't know. Sorry, what's
that's awesome, man. No, that's a really good answer. Thank you. But yeah, honestly, cheers for coming on. It's been amazing having you. Like I said, like me and Nathan, we're absolutely blown away by you guys at Damnation, and we're fans for life now. Had you on repeat since we've seen you. So yeah, well, I'll definitely have to try and get you guys down to Boom or something, like, you know, mainly for our selfish reasons. We want to see you again. So yeah.
Yeah, stay in touch, man. Hit us up, and we're definitely down to fucking go rock Boom. It was Boom, right? That's the name of the venue.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
Man, it's fucking great. I recommend it to every band we interview. It's not because I've got some kind of side deal or anything like that with them. It's purely just
not a brand deal.
The place, and I'm like, no, I just love the place. I'm there like every other week. I know the people work there, and they're just full of people that fucking love this shit. I want to see it thrive, and like that's why it's so good, because everything about that venue is like orchestrated by people that grew up and loved this shit, and there's no like I just want to make money. It's no, I love this scene and I want to make it bigger, and I want to make it healthy. That's what's great about it.
Yeah, it's sick, man. Like every scene needs a venue and promoters that really are in it for the right reasons, and we're totally down to play like any venue like that. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to play a fucking wild show, and I trust you guys. Yeah. So
we can promise you that, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, thank you so much, and we'll catch you on time, man.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Hope you guys have a good night.
You too. Take care. All the best.